Hello internet, I am 3G Geek and I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about games that I wish they would remaster or remake or whatever you want to call it. Now, just to get some stuff out of the way, it's not that I can't play these games, I actually have a lot of these games on hand. It would just be convenient either to play them on the latest generation of console, or I want them to revamp the multiplayer, or they would just look really sweet, like remastered in terms of graphics and all that good stuff. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. First off, these may not come to any sort of surprise to any of you. You probably want some of these remastered yourself, but there is a couple of Call of Duty games that I would like to have remastered, and this is one of those ones that I want remastered specifically for the multiplayer function / portion of the game. And those games are Black Ops 1 and 2, and then also along with that, Modern Warfare 2 as well. I am actually kind of surprised they haven't remade that yet, but that's beside the point. These games, again, I have access to all of these. I can play them whenever I want in terms of the campaign or anything like that on my PS3, but the problem is the multiplayer function is no longer there. And I guess not that it isn't there, but I understand that there's like hacks and like a whole bunch of different stuff that just impedes the servers for the old multiplayer games like Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare. So what I would want to see is these games remastered simply for the fact of the multiplayer portion of the games. I played Black Ops 1 and 2 to death on the multiplayer. I'm sure my friend from high school can also speak to that as well. I mean, we played Black Ops 1 and 2 throughout most of our high school careers and even into college. We continued to play these games, and it was redonkulous fun, and I think it would be a lot more fun too. And partially what had revamped this was in Black Ops 4, when I had it for that temporary time, they had remade some of the old Black Ops maps, and they looked gorgeous, like revamped and remastered. And so I would love to see those games specifically. And Modern Warfare 2, like, again, I would love to play it again. I would love to play the multiplayer again. And I really am just kind of surprised that it has not happened yet, just for the sheer fact that the remastered Modern Warfare was also a huge success. So I'm kind of surprised they haven't done that yet, but I personally would be more excited for Black Ops 1 and 2. Moving on to the next game, the next games that I want to talk about, you may or may not have played in your past, but it is a game called Burnout, and the games that I'm specifically referring to is Burnout 1, 2, and 3. And so with that being said, I know that there is a game, I forget the name of it. It recently came out, Dangerous Driving, that's it. A game called Dangerous Driving came out. I believe it was created by the same developers or the same company or something along those lines, but it's not quite the same. The reviews that I have seen compared it a lot to Burnout, but it didn't fully compare with the old school Burnout games, specifically 1, 2, and 3. So I would love to see those games remastered just to have the old charm come through from the original games, and I think that would be a lot of fun. And those I do have access to, but those are a bit harder to actually get to because it is on the original Xbox as opposed to Xbox 360, so it's a little harder to get your hands on it nowadays than anything else. But from there, this next one mostly just comes from me wanting to replay these old games, and just for the sheer convenience of having it on a current generation console, and that is Lego Star Wars. But there is a very specific Lego Star Wars that I want, and I guess I really don't even want to limit it to Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars 1 and 2, and also Lego Indiana Jones, but only the first one. Those were, if I remember correctly, like the original 3 Lego games that they had created, and I think those ones are the best. I don't like the new Lego games that they have been putting out recently because, I mean, yes, they talk and they have voices and stuff like that, but I love the charm and the way that they didn't actually talk in the cutscenes at all. It was funny to know what's going on, just see the Lego characters express it through their expressions and gestures and like random little sounds that they didn't make instead of fully talking through the dialogue. But maybe that's just me. Let me know down in the comments if you have similar feelings about that as well. Or maybe you like the new ones. If that's the case, also let me know. I'd be curious to hear from you. But jumping on in to the next one. This next one, I think a lot of people would agree with me on this one. And this next one I want them to remaster is the original Star Wars Battlefield, the first one and the second one. Not the new ones that they have recently cranked out, because those, like, they look good and the sound is amazing, but they just don't have the same level of charm as the original ones did, and I really would like them to remake those. And again, this is partially for looks, because I know that the new ones made by DICE, they look and sound amazing. The gameplay just isn't there for the new ones. But if they remade the original ones and they also got DICE involved, they would have great gameplay, great visuals, great sound effects, and it would be the perfect package. Now, there are a whole bunch of Star Wars games that I also think that they should remaster. One of them, another one that's top of my list, is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, but that one is on Steam, and I have played through it. I just think it would kind of look pretty, and it would be fun to play on an updated console or on an updated PC with the most current graphics and current generation of consoles and all that good stuff. So there are lots of Star Wars games out there. I would love to hear what other Star Wars games that you would like to see remastered, because I'm sure there are literally dozens that anyone could pick from that they would like remastered for the current generation of console. So the next one that I wanted to get into was actually the old Tony Hawk skater games. Now, there was one that I used to play to death, and we had it out for the PC way back when. I couldn't even tell you the exact year, and honestly I couldn't tell you the exact game, but I had a riot playing through it. Just all the wacky characters, the fun moves, and I also liked the idea of skateboarding back then, but I really didn't have the coordination to actually skateboard, so those games were a good middle ground, I guess. But besides the point, I think it would be a lot of fun if they remastered a lot of those, especially some of the older games, because I know people have been unhappy from what I remember with the newer games that have come out. They didn't capture the charm and the feel of the original game, so I think if they were to remaster the older games, I think people would love it to death, and they would probably spend a good chunk of money buying all of those old games, because I personally would too. I think they were a lot of fun. But last but not least, this one is also, like, I really don't know why they didn't remake this next game yet, and that is actually Gears of War 1 and 2. I am surprised that they did not push it out to Xbox One and in any sort of remaster or anything like that. Now, I believe you can play it with whatever the gaming service is that Xbox has pushed out. I'm drawing a blank right now. I believe you can play it on there, or it actually might be backwards compatible. But I am surprised that they have not pushed out a remastered edition of both the Gears 1 and 3. Or, sorry, 2 and 3. It's kind of surprising me, especially with the amount of remasters that are being pushed out nowadays. I'm kind of surprised that the Gears of War franchise didn't jump on that bandwagon and remake all of those games. They still might. I mean, who really knows? But or maybe that's why they didn't do it, because they really didn't want to jump on the bandwagon. But who really knows? And yeah, that's really all I got for this list, and I'm sure there are dozens, if not hundreds, of other games that you would want remastered. So I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. Any games that you would love to see remastered or brought to the latest generation of console, or you just wanted to revamp the gameplay, or even just to, if you want to see it pushed to the latest generation of console, or if you just want to see a revamped multiplayer, or even just a revamped color palette and textures and just updated graphics in general. I would love to hear any and all games that you would love to see remastered down in the comments below. Now, if you like this video, remember to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. And if you dislike this video, feel free to hit the dislike button, but also just leave a comment down below as to why you didn't like the video, so that if it's something that I can address and change and work on in terms of my YouTube videos, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below as well. But if you like this video and you like seeing seeing my face and you want to see it more, you can hit that subscribe button, and also remember to ring that little bell so you know when I post new videos and when I stream and all of that good stuff. Last but not least, I am on 3 major social media platforms. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Feel free to hit me up, like, comment, subscribe, follow, all of that good social media stuff on all those spontaneous platforms as well. And with all of that being said, this is 3G Geek, signing off.